Contrarians, welcome back to the Encrypted Capital Recap for Tuesday, April 19th. First off, we got Bitcoin seeing a nice little jump today, up from about 38,500 all the way up to 41,665. Let's go ahead. We'll check out the total market cap now. Total altcoin market cap, I should say, also seeing a nice rise, bouncing just above 1.02 trillion. All the way up to 1.1 trillion, which is looking good. We're seeing XRP get some positive price movement as well this morning, trading at just above 77.5 cents. So let's get into the news right now. First off, we got Bitcoin hodlers targeting 100K is what's preventing 40% price drawdown. Data suggests, as we know, a lot of people were expecting Bitcoin to hit 100K in that last move up when basically Coinbase IPO'd. As we know, the Coinbase IPO was the gigantic rug pull that we saw. Everybody thought that Bitcoin was going to continue to move higher with the IPO, but that was basically just the way of the whales to distribute amongst the peasants. You guys, the retail traders, not us though. We were smarter than that. We actually saw that there was a big dump occurring. We even called out Elon Musk's dump on Dogecoin as he went on SNL. So my contrarians, you guys saw what was coming, but for everyone else in the market, while everybody had their laser eyes going, we were a little bit smarter than that. That was the mass liquidity event that provided enough exit liquidity for the whales to get out of the market and for the retail traders to buy up their panic and green candles. Also, we saw that crypto Twitter reacts as Russian government reviews finalized crypto bill. So we had Pomp here again, this D-bag with the laser eyes. I do not trust any of these guys with these laser eyes. These are the ones that were dumping all over everybody for about 3 months as Tesla and everybody else got into the crypto space. I'm talking Michael Saylor and all these other guys that were changing their characters or their avatars, I should say, to laser eyes. Kevin O'Leary, another guy, said breaking: the Russian government and central bank have just reached an agreement on cryptocurrencies, according to Russia's Kommersant. Both organizations will treat Bitcoin and crypto assets as currencies. And we started to see the war unfold. Cryptocurrencies kind of being pulled into the spotlight as Ukraine was able to get a lot of donations in cryptocurrencies. I think that's kind of helping aid to the move to the upside right now. So we'll have to kind of wait and see how this plays out. But I do think that the war has been crazily enough positive for crypto, as well as the stock market overall, that is. And so we also have the crypto wallet MetaMask issued a warning to iPhone users, giving directions to avoid phishing attacks. So you guys got to be careful with this stuff. MetaMask is essentially an extension for Chrome that you guys can use to move money around. But there's so many different sort of attacks and hacks going on. I think the safest way is to store your assets on a cold wallet, the Ledger, Trezor, and I've even seen a couple other ones come out. One of our members was talking about Lobster, which was another wallet that you guys can use based on the Stellar network. So there's a lot of different options out there, but I wouldn't recommend using anything that's plugged in directly to the internet. At least with the cold wallet, you have to sign your transactions physically with that device, with the Ledger device. So definitely want to go that route. Also, we don't do any trading from our phones either, for that fact, because I've seen SIM card swaps happen. I've seen them actually, it's actually been attempted to be done with myself, oddly enough, where they tried to use my cell phone number to go ahead and basically verify via SMS my accounts. And luckily enough, I was aware of this type of attack, and I was not using a number. I was not using my actual cell phone number. I was actually using a Google Voice number in tandem with Google Authenticator. So be mindful of those attacks. You guys don't want to be using, at least in my opinion, any sort of trading app on your phone. I do everything from the computer, and everything that I have, at least the majority of the net worth that we have, is stored offline, either with a different custody solution provider, which has insurance. And, obviously, we're going the institutional route with like a Fireblocks or something along those lines. But if you're just an average retail trader, obviously a cold storage wallet is where you guys want to be. Don't be storing a lot of money online in other trading accounts, because if you're not willing to lose it, that means it's too much money. And if you got too much money sitting on these websites, there's a good chance that a hacker may try and find out a way to get that hard-earned money. So keep it on your cold storage wallet is the moral of the story. Next up, we also got Chamath, and I always mess up his name, Chamath Palihapitiya. It says Solana, part of massive disruption of global payments industry. We've seen Solana in the news quite a bit for a lot of these very wealthy individuals. I'm not sure if Kiyosaki's a billionaire. I don't think he is, but Kiyosaki was pumping up Solana, and we mentioned that in the last video that it dropped like 25% after he started talking about it. So, but Chamath is talking about Solana and how it could disrupt the global payments industry. He says Visa and MasterCard, I think, are doing the single dumbest thing they could do by being a duopoly, which is raising prices, especially into an inflationary moment, which just lacks complete knowledge and sensitivity of the moment. Chamath, I don't think you've done your homework as, much in the spotlight as you are with the cryptocurrency space. If you were aware of what's going on, and maybe he is and he's just not saying it, but let's go over to the ISO20022 protocol, which is the new Swift messaging system. It says ISO is widely used in financial services. It's going to basically be the new protocol that Swift deploys at the end of this year. And the organizations that are participating in this new messaging system include Swift, Ripple, of course, our favorite, Algorand, Ravencoin. Okay, this must have just been added because I know the last time I looked this up, Ravencoin was not on there. And guess who else? Visa. So Visa is already integrating cryptocurrencies into their system. They're already part of what will be the new Swift messaging system. And we also have MasterCard too. MasterCard struck a deal for NFT payments with Coinbase amid a wave of recent crypto partnerships. So you have MasterCard linking up with Coinbase. We know that Coinbase is part of the Center Consortium with Circle. Circle was funded by Goldman Sachs. Go down the rabbit hole and you'll see that all these guys are already in the space and have been for quite a long time. It says this deal is the latest in the flurry of crypto partnerships for MasterCard and Visa. So Chamath, I'm sorry, dude, do your homework or at least come out and say what's going on with MasterCard and Visa because they are very heavily involved in crypto, a lot more than most people probably realize. Also, says Ethereum has squashed one of the key arguments for holding Bitcoin, according to macro guru Raoul Pal. Raoul Pal was also one of those institutional investors, also working for Goldman Sachs. You also have Mike Novogratz, part of Galaxy Digital, also former Goldman Sachs. And he's pulling a lot of those people from Goldman over to Galaxy. So basically, Galaxy Digital is the new Goldman Sachs, if you guys are unaware. Now, it says that Raoul Pal says that contrary to conventional wisdom, Ethereum has outperformed Bitcoin during the latest crypto bear market. And it has. It actually outperformed Bitcoin in the last bull market as well. It went from a couple bucks all the way up to 1,500. I believe it was a 15,000% gain. Don't quote me on that, but it was somewhere in that price range. So, or I should say somewhere in that percentage gain range. Can I talk today? It says in a recent interview with Leah Hellepern, the Real Vision CEO says that the leading smart contract platform has outpaced BTC during a time when the top crypto asset by market usually shines. So I am and have been looking for Ethereum to get a lot more, being discussed a lot more in the crypto space as Bitcoin gets all the shine. I think a lot of that shine is going to go ahead and move over to Ethereum as Ethereum is, basically the next biggest cryptocurrency in line. And as the people that have already gotten into Ethereum very early, I mean, you're talking, 180, 200 bucks and went all the way up to almost 4,000, 4,500, I believe. So huge gains already in Ethereum. They're going to need to have that exit liquidity provided to them so they can exit out at the top. And if Ethereum does go ahead and make a bullish move to, 10, 15, 20K, if it replicates what Bitcoin did in the last cycle, that could put Ethereum all the way up to 20K as Bitcoin hit 20K the last bull market. So we'll have to see where it goes, but I am looking for a lot of these mainstream guys like Pompliano, Raoul Pal, and who else? You got Chamath. All those guys are going to start talking about Ethereum, Cuban, Elon. Look for those guys to really start pumping up Ethereum as the bull market continues, as that will be the next hype coin to allow the retail traders to buy up what it is that the institutions and the big billionaires are selling. So we also got, get rid of this ad here, first ever Bitcoin ETF to go live in Australia next week, report says. So I just want to touch on this. That's obviously pretty big for Australia, but we've seen a handful of these Bitcoin ETFs come to fruition in the U.S., and now they're making their way to Australia. So cool. I'm going to move on to this next article I have. We got Sand soars 17% as the Sandbox reportedly plans to raise $400 million at a $4 billion valuation. It says the Sandbox, which is an Animica Brand Corp-owned blockchain-based online game, seeks to raise $400 million in a fresh funding round that would put its valuation at $4 billion. Sand is in the same category as Mana, Decentraland, Barry Shilbert's cryptocurrency. We're talking about the Metaverse and the tokens and assets that will be utilized in the Metaverse. And so this is just another one of them that has seen pretty good gains already. We saw Sandbox and Mana both have really nice gains over the course of the last year or so. And I think as the NFT space and as the Metaverse gets more and more popular, you're going to start to see these assets rise even further. So keep an eye on Sand and Mana and basically any other Metaverse asset or token. Speaking of tokens, we got Zinfin, the XDC network. Want to point out that they released some news the other day, and this was back on December 14th, but they were kind of going into some of their partnerships. Nokia is a big one in there, Finastra, and others. But they also released, this report right here. It says, what another great week for XDC. Don't miss out on all the exciting developments. So they had the World Trade Organization and World Economic Forum's latest report featured Trade Tech and their trade finance-based NFT transaction on the XDC network. So keep in mind, Zinfin is part of the World Trade Organization and World Economic Forum. You got big Klaus Schwab, the guy that basically wants to reset everybody and turn them into peasants. This token is tied to the World Economic Forum. So do you think that this thing is going to fail, or do you think that this is actually going to play a major role in the Great Reset? I have a feeling that this will be one of the biggest liquidity providers and one of the biggest smart contract assets that's out there. Again, touching on the ISO20022 protocol, XDC, Algo, XRP, XLM, and there's a few others. Also want to point out that Audi Field is hosting the second annual Capital Cup presented by the XDC network. That came out last week. And so you have a lot of these assets. I even saw Tezos, they were with McLaren. And I think there was another football team that they were part of. You're seeing a lot of these digital assets starting to get into the mainstream with sports, especially overseas in soccer and Formula One. Also, wanted to point out that DC United has a first-of-its-kind partnership with the leading blockchain XDC network. So pretty big moves for XDC. And also wanted to point out that I'm not sure how you say it, WadsPay selects Algorand to power a digital asset and payments revolution for its partner network of governments, financial institutions, issuers, and beyond. So where do you guys want to be at? You guys want to be investing in some dog shit bullshit coin, or do you want to be invested in what the actual new financial landscape is being built on? And that's going to be the ISO protocol that Swift is going to be utilizing. Algorand's a part of it. XDC is a part of it, and so on. It says, WadsPay and Algorand speak the same language when it comes to payments. Our innovative approach to payments, loyalty programs, and interoperability between legacy and next-generation payment ecosystems is completely synchronized. WadsPay is looking forward to adding value to Algorand by bringing years of our expertise in the payment and tech space while providing our partners with the best-in-class solutions enabled by solutions that we will co-create with the fantastic Algorand team. And that's Anish Jain, the managing director and CEO of WadsPay. So again, going into Algorand, Circle, Coinbase, the Center Consortium. These guys made the USD coin and also is running on Algorand. All these guys are tied together. So keep that in mind when you guys are looking for investments. It's obviously very advantageous to try and go and find these really small cap coins. And I think that those should be a part of, everyone's portfolio to try and get those crazy, 100 to 500x gains. But if you're trying to build a long-term portfolio, something that you pass down to your kids, I think this is where you need to be. So that's my 2 cents. Don't forget, guys, sign up for the newsletter. We got a free version and a paid version where we go over the daily briefs as well as overall current market sentiment. Great way to support the channel. So with that being said, that'll do it for this edition of the Encrypted Capital Recap. If you guys like what you heard, please drop us a like, comment, and subscribe, and we will catch you in the next video.